Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. This is going to be a story of two falls. One physical fall and one societal fall. Mitch McConnell was walking through the Senate building the other day when a young woman of the climate focus group Sunrise Movement approached him. She was asking Mitch McConnell if he supported ICE taking working people off the streets and kidnapping them. As soon as she said kidnapping them, Mitch McConnell, he had been holding on to a person next to him. That person had moved too far away. McConnell kind of lost his balance, reached for the person, and then went tumbling down to the ground. Fortunately, it does not appear that he was injured. He was helped to his feet and then was shuffled away. But, the symbolism of that, the ICE raids, it's very clear that of which political party, the Republicans in this case, are supporting ICE and supporting these raids. And the symbolism of watching the old Republicans fall to the ground. They're out of step with society. They can't hold on. It's like a house of cards tumbling down when they don't have the support of people around them. The isolation of it will cause them to collapse. So as hard as it is to watch what the Republicans are doing, understand that they are the architects of their own demise by doing this. And they will be losing the support, the distancing of support. The people that they leaned on, like the Latino voters in 2024. I don't think they're going to get much support from the Latino voters in 2026 or 2028 after watching how the Latino population has been treated. Just saying. Sometimes I guess you really do have to piss on the electric fence to understand that it's a bad idea. Tried to tell you. We tried to give you examples, but some people just need to piss on it themselves. Okay. The other story is about Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew has announced that he is giving up his titles. In a statement, he said, let's see, I want to make sure I've got the statement up here. He's been under pressure because of his links to Jeffrey Epstein and calls for Buckingham Palace to take action against him. It seems that because of that, Prince Andrew is voluntarily handing back his titles, and he'll give up membership of the Order of the Garter, the oldest and most senior order of chivalry in Britain. In his statement, he continued to vigorously deny accusations against him. But here's the quote. In discussion with the King and my immediate and wider family, we have concluded the continued accusations about me distract from the work of His Majesty and the royal family. I have decided, as I always have, to put my duty to my family and country first. I stand by my decision 5 years ago to stand back from public life. With His Majesty's agreement, we feel I must now go a step further. I will therefore no longer use my title or the honors which have been conferred upon me. As I said previously, I vigorously deny the accusations against me. Okay, so what does that mean? Discussion with the king. This basically means that King Charles told him what to do and how to do it. And it's for the royals and something along those lines. This is a big humiliation to be stripped of those titles and those privileges. So, will it save further scrutiny against Prince Andrew? Probably not. When the Epstein files finally get released and his name shows up in it, and Virginia Jeffrey's book is out there and he's named in it, it may stem some of the anger and the protests because they've seen how he's stepped down, but there may be disgust with how he was protected, how the firm and the family protected him. But let's start with Mitch McConnell, okay? Let's start with the House of Cards that is the Republican Party here. Mitch McConnell collapsing when being asked if he's okay with ICE doing this. Let's look at the symbolism here. Entertainment purposes only. We've got the Eight of Coins. The Apprentice card, working on values. This, it's kind of funny. And then underneath is 7 of coins. The party of family values, the party of wholesome values, has been churning out hatred and intolerance, especially with the rise of Rush Limbaugh and then the Republicans in the 90s. Now, we can go back to the Southern strategy and such, but when the Fairness Doctrine was given up and the rise of extreme far-right radio personalities like Rush Limbaugh, that's when the work really took off here. The party of values. And this current regime and their actions with ICE perfectly underscore the values. It's laying bare what's crossed with it. 5 of Cups, embarrassment and disappointment. How have they fallen so far? The party of values in Christianity is the most unchristian, morally bankrupt party out there. In the past, you got the Hermit card. Things that were in the dark being exposed. And now you have to bear the burden of the choices that you've made. The agreements, kind of like the groups that you've hung around with. Notice the black and yellow here, which is the same color as the Proud Boys. The white supremacists that you've with the Southern strategy, the evangelicals you've gone with, the white supremacists that you go with, the other folks like the 3%ers or I'm forgetting Stuart Rhodes, Oath Keepers. These are the people that you've chosen to hang around with and led to the rise of your orange leader. Lesson to be learned is the Hanged Man. You've done this to yourself. You let the extremists, the ones who make your life difficult, the extremes of the party, take over the party. The ones that you thought you could control now own you. And the party is firmly under control of those extreme people. It's funny, all the work they did to gerrymander, all the work they did to rig elections and make elections difficult, the poison bush that they have sown has reaped its benefits, and now they have to live those benefits. It's going to destroy their party. Literally a collapse. This is such a top-heavy party at this point. It's going to collapse because of the people you associated with had no love for you, and they were willing to take over your party and take over. The Mitch McConnells are no longer needed in the Republican Party when it's being run by Christian white nationalists. Mitch McConnell becomes a rhino. The man who epitomized the Republican Party for decades. A man who is very responsible for the situation we're in now. Had he worked more ethically, morally and ethically, putting America first and party politics second, he wouldn't be in the position he is now, but here he is. And I don't mean falling down on the ground. I just mean the burden that the Republican Party has. By architecting an extreme, aggressive political party like the Republicans are now, he has inadvertently helped architect its own demise. Four cards. What's the lesson to be learned from this? Ace of Cups. This is what happens when you work on passions and passion alone, the pearl-clutching, the fear, using emotions to control people. King of Swords. It's what you get. This card underneath again. It's kind of like this is the poison bush. Reaping what you sow. You went out of your way to make it difficult for people to vote. You wanted to decrease the voter turnout. And in the process, you've lowered your standards, you've lowered your morals, you've lowered your ethics, you've lowered your values. And at some point, you have to drink from the chalice that contains the wine of the poisoned bush, the one that you grew, the one that you spiraled downward with. And I know it's like they've been avoiding drinking from this, but the time has come where they actually have to drink the bitter fruit from that bush. Here I am getting all biblical on you. How about that, huh? Michelle just said, shoot, downstairs without the OO part of it. Okay, Prince Andrew. Let's get to the juicy stuff now. Prince Andrew stepped down. Let's look at the energy around Prince Andrew. Well, stepping down. He's giving up his titles and his affiliations with those titles. You know, again, I'm sure this man will live quite comfortably, but he's probably going to be a bit of a social pariah, huh? And, you know, when you're royalty, your titles are kind of maybe really, really important. Just saying. It's hard for us in the United States to really grasp the magnitude of this decision. I mean, it may be nothing. Maybe it's an absolute nothing thing, but I can see where the pride and the ego and the whole sense of identity goes with those titles. Folks in the UK, I'm sure, will add some comments about their opinions on things and how it impacts people. Certainly, there are a number of English and British citizens. No, again, English citizens live in England. British citizens live in Great Britain, so that's going to include other countries in there. They're going to have opinions. And the ones that support the monarchy, they'll probably say, wow, this is really kind of a big deal. Those who are more cynical of the monarchy, maybe they won't think it's as big of a deal. But again, I would defer to somebody who lives over there who would better understand the gravity of this. Again, we're just a bunch of colonials over here, so what do we know? But let's look at the energy around Prince Andrew and his announcement today. Foundation of the reading is the Four of Coins. Notice he's wearing the crown too. You know, trying hard to hold on to what he has, but things are being stripped from him. And being stripped of your titles. You know, you can't hold on to your crown anymore. Although he's still a prince, he will not be referred to as a prince, I'm assuming. His ability to move around. He'll still get to stay where he's at, but the social things that he used to do will be limited and restricted. And the money and the wealth that comes with it, he'll still have money and wealth, but his ability to use that to influence things is going to be restricted. So there's a lot of restrictions that's being placed on him. Again, he's not losing everything, but he's just really being put into a box. Cross with the Seven of Wands. And I think it's because the monarchy has to be shown to be doing something. They have to show to the people that they're doing something to punish him and contain him, because I think the accusations that are coming forward here from Miss Jeffrey, as well as when the Epstein files get released, you know, it gives them an advantage because they've already taken action. Now, we could argue they could have taken more action. They could have taken more severe action. They could have taken their action sooner. But they have at least done something about it, because the people will come a-calling. I think they're trying to get ahead of things. This is also a good sign, by the way, that the Epstein files are coming, because they're trying to get ahead of this story. And they know that Prince Andrew is going to be named in this. Between Virginia Jeffrey's book coming out and the Epstein files, they have to get ahead of this story. So understand that this is actually a good thing, because it means that the royal family believes this is happening. The reason why they're going to believe this is happening is likely they've been briefed by their intelligence agencies that this is happening. Okay? So View that as a positive as far as the Epstein case goes. In the past, 6 points is inappropriate relationships with girls. Period. End of story. Full stop. Creepy old man. Current situation is the Lover's card. Kind of, biblically speaking, I view this as Adam and Eve because you do have the snake with the apple here. And, an angel overseeing them. Andrew being kicked out of the Garden of Eden, as it were, for his sins that he did. I don't know how else to translate that. It's about his relationships that he did. Inappropriate relationships with girls. And this is kind of the consequences of the actions that he took. The Chariot. Overarching energy. Moving forward. Not recklessly. With purpose. And again, I do believe that this would be King Charles taking leadership and moving forward with things. Trying to guide this whole process to the finish line. Showing that he's in charge. That the monarchy, the firm, is not out of control. Harsh decisions. The lesson to be learned is harsh decisions. King Charles making the choice. William was consulted, and I'm sure William agreed with it. It's just like, this is an embarrassment. I really do think that they understand this is an embarrassment. It's like an unforgivable embarrassment that happened here. Whether or not they want to believe it, it's just the reputation of the family is just called into question by his questionable acts. And they want to punish him, but at the same time, by punishing, if you over-punish him, if you punish him to the level he deserves, you're basically admitting that he did it, you knew he did it, and you've been covering for him for years. And they're trying to control that narrative. The outcome is the Queen of Pentacles. Sensible. The values. I think they're going to succeed in doing this. It's like their response is measured. They're in advance of it, and I think generally speaking, people will be okay with what happens. It's like they'll be more upset with Andrew than the family. In other words, they're going to kind of isolate Andrew's behavior from the royal family. But it could cost the family reputation and money because of his actions. So in some ways, I think the monarchy is doing this to protect themselves. One clarifier card on that. Yeah, because that information's coming out. It's going to be coming out soon. They have to be shown to be doing something practical and sensible in this case. Cards back in the deck. I don't know if how many people remember the comic strip Bloom County, or ever had the compilation books for Bloom County, but they used to depict Prince Charles and Princess Diana when William was a baby. And they referred to him as William the Terrible. Or actually, I believe that really was his nickname. But they had some funny strips with it. But one of the strips was talking about, Prince Charles is talking with William and referred to Prince Andrew. And the Prince William in the cartoon starts referring to him by his nickname, Randy, Andy, Randy, Andy, Randy, Andy. And then later on refers to Prince Charles as Gnarly Charlie, trying to, come up with a rhyme like that, like the British used to use for Prince Andrew. Certainly the British tabloids knew that Prince Andrew had a wandering eye. Later married Sarah Ferguson, who became princess. Okay. Let's look. What's going to be the impact. How does the British society going to act when information comes out about Prince Andrew? How are they going to view either Prince Andrew or the royal family? Maybe I'll do a challenge reading on that one. King of Pentacles. They're going to look at the monarchy and the money here. What's the cross? They're going to be finding out the wealthy people, including the monarchs, that are involved in this. How will they view Prince Andrew? And what's the energy underneath it? Get ready for the cancel culture. Going to be really upset by this. Prince Andrew. Many people are going to be upset with him. Some people are going to try and, it's kind of that 60-40 split. The ones that really, really support the royal family, they're going to just say it's vicious rumors and such. Other people are going to be really disappointed. They're not going to be real happy with this. Their reaction is going to be swift. I'm not going to put him to death, but it's just it's kind of like the end of the end of his reign, but his status. He's done this to himself. He's the one that he did it to himself. His weird behaviors. You might even get more reporting. It's like they're gonna be more believing of things that he's done in his days of youth. You know what I mean? Like I doubt it's just Virginia is the only one that he was with. You're going to start hearing more stories. And between the disappointment, the death card, and the Ten of Swords, more and more stuff is going to come out on this guy. Because he won't get the protection that he's been getting. How will they view the royal family? Page of Swords. There's going to be that accusations that you knew about this and you protected him. About how many other young girls are involved with this. They're going to be mad at them for this. About the young girls involved. How long have you been defending him and protecting him? Using the government and using your position to quell information that would come out. Boy, the royal family does not look like they're going to come out of this unscathed either. I don't know if somebody leaks more information about the royal family and what they've done to protect him, but there's going to be a lot of pressure on the royal family, on the royals for this. Again, with the kind of an interesting visual with the crown coming off the top of the building. Maybe when this happens, this is between Charles's cancer and everything else. Maybe this is what causes Charles's downfall. Again, not necessarily saying he's going to die, but most people the most vocal and strongest opinion people, especially when I had the international channel, said that Charles will never step down. That's just not what royals do. Well, certainly it's not what Queen Elizabeth did. Will Charles die in office? Maybe. A sensible human being might step down from it and let his younger son, who is not suffering from cancer, take over, and then you just be, I guess you have the Queen's mom. I guess you'd be the King's dad. I don't know what the title would be on something like that. And I realize, again, that I'm being told that's just a very American thing and that this would never happen. But if it was going to happen, this would be that opportunity for Charles to do that. If not, I think the pressure and the feedback, but what's the word I'm looking for? Something back. This is when I know I'm kind of channeling because I can't think anymore. The backlash. That's what I'm looking for. My brain. The backlash will be quite strong against both. Anger against Andrew, but the backlash against the royals because they know they've been protecting him. What happens with Charles as a result of this? Assuming that if I'm right and there's backlash, what happens with Charles? For Carter. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Turmoil in the royals. Nine of Coins. They may actually start talking about, defunding the royals type of thing. They've lived this great lifestyle, but look at what they've done with it. Wow, it really does look like defunding them. Especially if the economy gets soft. This could be really bad here. Yeah, there could be a lot of backlash about changes they want to make, starting to defund the royals type of thing. I don't really want to believe that, because it's such an institution there. But it's kind of like the lazy, entitled, not appreciating the stuff that you have. It's like Andrew represents the entitlement and the worst of the royals. And again, if the economy goes soft, folks are going to look at the royals and maybe want some changes made in there. Asking how Charles handles it. This could also be, this turmoil causes a health setback for him. He needs to rest and relaxation and take care of his health. And it's going to lead to something new coming in. I really do think this whole thing is going to lead to Charles's demise as the King of England. Sorry. I mean, I'm not upsetting anybody with that, but that's kind of what I'm getting from there. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.